She's loving, caring, and quite spontaneous. She's also very daring, but stays cautious in her every move. And she always knows what she wants. She's that type of girl. But let me tell you about the guy that she dated. A manipulating liar who really did care about one thing. But he was so good at putting up this facade that had her fooled thinking they were in love. He's the type of guy that your friend warned me about. He's that guy. One night, she confessed to me her love for him and what she thought was his love for her. But this was all after the night that she gave into his pressure and gave herself to him. And if you don't know what I mean, she let him into her. You know, there was so much that I wanted to say, but how much would it have really affected her when his deed was already done? So I just stayed silent. And next thing you know, she was so knocked up, then her and her boyfriend broke up and all her problems started piling up. It was her aftershock. Her whole world turned upside down, and word got around town she was getting ultrasounds. She's regretting her decision because the division of her legs was a misprison that let her whole world downrange and to put her in a prison leaving her mind deranged. Wishing she could let go, wishing she would have said no. Instead of unlocking that pussy, she wishes she would have deadlocked that pussy, but instead she let his cock into her pussy. Now she's fighting the world alone, one against them, all on her own, not knowing what to do and unsure of the mood she should take because there was no escape from this. Her worst nightmare is her reality, causing her to think so irrationally. The situation was a lethal weapon to her morality, rest in peace to her mentality. She got insane. A war between her head and heart, her mind the terrain, an internal hurricane left nothing but her silhouette filled with questions that remained. Questions like, can she afford to have this child? Or can she afford to abort this child? But does she really want to get an abortion? Does she really want to deal with all the emotions? How does she even deal with all these emotions? I know you're hurting right now. And I know you wish you had the right answers, but nobody can supply you with the right answers. Just know that whatever decision you make won't be the wrong answer. Because whatever outcome, you'll come out stronger. But it's also about when you face a hard time, you should really appreciate your struggles and not really hold a grudge against them, because if it wasn't for your struggles, if it wasn't for my struggles, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I gladly appreciate them. Here it goes. So this one is called Mama. Okay. It's been a while since I've seen you, Mama. I've been thinking of you, Mama. Don't you miss me, Mama? Don't you think of me too? Words never did justice when it... Sorry, I'm nervous. Okay. I'm just going to start over really quick. It's been a while since I've seen you, Mama. I've been thinking of you, Mama. Don't you miss me, Mama? Don't you think of me too? Words never did justice on how I feel about you, Mama, and sometimes it's just hard for me, Mama. I never feel the love from you. So, Mama, it's my love for you that I question. We've never had that certain relationship, you know, the one a daughter and a mother should share. That special type of relationship. Maybe it's because you can never relate to shit. You were never here after you and Pop split. To your daughters you can never really commit to. You always sit on that bullshit. Mama, you're repeatedly in and out of my life. Phone calls didn't come every night. They only came once a week, and sometimes we would go from week to week without speaking, and I hate to admit it, but it made me so weak, Mama. My life was so oblique, Mama. And I mean morally, ethically, and mentally wrong, because it's morally out of line for a mother to leave her child, and ethically on the deadlines to exile from your child. And it was mentally wrong, because it was screwing me in the head all wrong. My mentality was shot sideways, Mama. There was no consistency, Mama. Alternatively, you was just constantly neglecting me unceasingly, and I swear it was almost the death of me. Literally. There was that one time you went to Mexico with Jose. Y'all just went away. You said you needed a getaway, but you ended up loving it and stayed for 3 years. God damn it, Mama, I didn't see you for 3 years. I had to rethink of what you meant by getaway. What were you trying to get away from? Was it us, Mama? Why were you trying to break away from us? Mama, tell me, why'd you run away? You had us feeling like we was just castaways. After every visit, you said you wanted to be a better person, and that you wanted to be a better mother. But I had no reason to believe it or even consider it, because you was just in a familiar face, sharing some familiar lies. But that was your vernacular, ruler of supplying empty promises and lies, ignoring my cries, not realizing a part of you in me dies every time you lie to me. But that's how it was. That's how it always be, because Mama, you always spoke like a visionary, saying things like, baby, times will look up, yet you were only being imaginary, because the lifetime love you described was just momentary. Though as time passed, I do notice you've been trying to be a part of my life. But Mama, it just doesn't feel right. I think it's a little demented that now you're trying to act like a parent. You see, it's a little too late when your daughter's almost 19, Mama. We're worried before I was turning 18, Mama, or when I was turning 13, Mama. It just doesn't make any sense. You can't just throw your 2 cents in out of nowhere, treating us like some overdue bank statements when your efforts were well overspent elsewhere. Look, Mama, I do try to see where you come from, and I try to imagine being in your shoes, but it's like my heart refuses to let loose, because if it was me, Mama, our relationship would have been rescued. I know it seems like I'm holding a grudge against you, but believe me, Mama, I'm working on that. Because, Mama, I try not to hate you. I do, and I will always have love for you, but it's just a different type of love, because if it wasn't for these struggles you put me through, I wouldn't be who I am today. So, Mama, I thank you. Thank you.